Hello, everyone.
My prediction was right, guys.
Which one?
Matthew has captured her again.
Yes.
And she's
Poor
there.
Victoria, captured every week, it seems, by Matthew. It's very exciting this week. Lots of stuff going on.
It's hard to say if my other prediction of Frank saving her will come true because she isn't saved yet. But
she's not saved yet, no. But maybe. Maybe you're right.
So Matthew has taken her into the secret room at the old house.
Yes. And this little dungeon behind the bookshelf.
Yes. And Elizabeth... Oh, the taxi came for her to take her to the bus.
Mm-hmm. And Mrs. Johnson talked to the guy and said, "Oh, okay, I'll go get her." And then she wasn't there. "Oh, I guess she left without you." Yep. Like, whatever.
And no one ever saw the suitcase sitting there in the front door. Lots of people walked by it, and it was just kind of there.
Until way later, yeah.
Yeah. So then Elizabeth and Johnson kind of discussed, maybe she went with Carolyn. Maybe Carolyn drove her. So were some calls made to like Joe's and such to see if maybe she was on a date with him, if she would have taken her own car or not. Mm-hmm. Maybe she went to Bangor with Vicki for some reason, but then she had Johnson press her dress. So obviously she was going somewhere special, but no one knows. And then our favorite...
Where was she going?
Well, she was on a date with Burke.
Mm-hmm.
That's why no one knew where she was.
A hot date with Burke. They were getting pretty close and frisky.
So our favorite Johnson line from today...
Favorite line
from this week is... People miss buses all the days of the... every day of the world.
Yeah,
people miss buses every day of the world. They certainly do. Yep. So there's your words of wisdom for this week. Mm-hmm. Now my hand's cramping. So
we had our hot date at Burke's hotel room.
Oh wait, first, what's his name? Matthew and Vicki. She convinces him that no one's out there looking for him, and that he's safe and he can leave. And he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna go, but you need to promise me you'll wait 2 or 3 hours before you leave, so I have lots of time to get away." And so he leaves, and she immediately leaves the room. And then he tricks her and comes back and grabs her again. He's very angry because she lied.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to tell your funny joke?
Do I remember what it is?
Do you remember what it is?
No.
The joke you told me that it reminded you of the joke.
The turtle joke.
The turtle
Do we have time for the turtle joke?
Tell the turtle joke.
Okay.
So one of my favorite jokes.
These two turtles go way out into the desert to have a picnic. And when they get there, they realize they've forgotten the, can opener, we'll say.
Yes.
So the one guy is like, "Okay, you got to go back." He's like, "No, I don't want to go back because the second I leave, you're going to eat all the food." He's like, "No, I promise I won't. Please go back and get it, and I won't eat the food." So he leaves, and the turtle waits, and he waits, and he waits. And 2 days go by, and the guy's still not back. So he goes to take a bite of the food, and the other turtle pops up from behind a rock and says, "Ha! I knew it! I'm not going."
True story.
So that was the Matthew.
It's kind of what Matthew did.
Yeah.
Or could have done if he waited for hours and hours and hours. So
there you go. He was the turtle.
All right. Can we talk about the hot date now?
Yes, let's talk about the hot date.
Yeah.
I don't know. They were just...
It was pretty steamy. Burke and Carolyn on his couch. But they were interrupted before
she took her shoes off.
She took her shoes off. There was some smooching and some face touching. And
then Joe interrupted.
Because Elizabeth had sent him over. Well, she'd sent him over quite. They kind of figured that she was with Burke. Mm-hmm. And so he's like, "I'll go looking for her, but only if you want me to." Like, he didn't want to be like, I'll go.
Right.
So she said, "Yes, I want you to go find her." So he went there first, and lo and behold, there she was with Burke, and he wasn't happy about it, even though I thought he was over her, but
I guess he kind of still doesn't want her with Burke, I guess, maybe.
Yeah.
So they punch each other.
Yeah. A fist fight. That was exciting.
And then Joe says, "I'm really only here because Vicky's missing." And then that gets Burke's attention, and he's ready to go.
Threw Carolyn out the window, and then...
So they went to the house, even though he knew that Elizabeth wouldn't be happy to see him there. He wanted to go and help to search for Vicki. Mm-hmm. So they got some guns. And
Roger's guns.
Went out in search of her. Did they know to go to the old house? They went there anyway. Oh no, they searched a long time in like the woods and stuff. And,
and the sheriff's men were there too. Mm-hmm. They went out into the old house, and those obvious footprints from last week weren't there anymore. Strange. I guess Matthew
Right.
cleaned it up.
So Joe was ready to leave and look outside with the sheriff's men, but Burke said he thinks there might be something they're missing, so he sends Joe back to talk to Elizabeth. Elizabeth says, ooh, there is somewhere that you might not have looked.
A secret place that not many people know about
Yes.
at the old house.
So Joe comes back and stands right in front of the bookshelf and tells Burke, it's the cellar.
It's the storm cellar that apparently
Burke
isn't
already
obvious. And Burke's
searched.
like, yeah, I already checked there. So they stood like literally 3 inches from from Vicki as she was being held by Matthew against the door.
And Josette's picture kept glowing, and then someone would come in and it would stop glowing. So not
Did
really
you think
sure
she was going to appear?
what that's all about. She's shy.
She is shy.
She's shy.
Mm-hmm. She's a shy ghost.
Yeah. Well, David was bringing Matthew food still. Oh, did we see any more of that?
No, I think Burke and Joe went searching in the woods more. They talked out their problems, and I think kind of got that mostly resolved, and then moved on from there, and then took off, and then was that pretty much it for that night?
Yeah.
And then the next.
Well, then
morning,
Roger shows up, and
Roger came home.
Yeah, Roger came home, was all mad that Burke was there,
and that they had his guns. Which I never really thought Roger would be the kind to have guns, but.
Yeah, I guess. And he was like unloading them, and then he was talking to Burke, and he was getting all mad, so he put one bullet back in, and everyone
loading the gun
whatever
again.
in it.
Yeah.
And then everyone had to decide to go, and
what was it Burke said on the way out? Burke said something on the way out that pissed off Roger.
Something.
I can't remember what it was.
Well, he grabbed him too. Like Burke grabbed him, and then
he threw him up against.
Well, he threatened that the house would be theirs, or something would be his soon, to Roger, and then Elizabeth got all offended, and he was like, "Well, I kind of meant it to Roger," and she was like, "Well, it's my family and my house too." So
yeah.
Anyway, and then
Roger said something to piss him off, so he threw him up against the door.
Yeah, and then
left, and Roger went for the gun.
Elizabeth stopped him. And then we had in that episode everyone was just arguing because Joe and Carolyn argued, and he was just like, I don't really care anymore.
Yeah,
basically.
I thought they were past that.
They were all mad.
Why are we still on the?
They were all mad at Carolyn for being out with Burke, so they fought about that, and so that was kind of that episode.
That was mostly people arguing.
Yeah. And then today. Go ahead. I say all the things.
Go ahead, say more things. Back more Matthew and Elizabeth. David got the scoop in the morning.
He was talking to Johnson, and he was all upset that he missed Burke being there.
Yeah, he missed almost all the excitement and didn't know that Vicki was missing. And...
So then he collected some food. I feel like he put a little extra in there because he knew Vicki would probably be there.
Probably. I don't know. I never thought of that.
Because she
said it didn't seem like he put a lot in there.
Yeah, because they think that. Johnson mentioned that she thinks that Vicki's with Matthew, and he knows where Matthew is, so he'd assume that there was another person to feed there. And he grabbed the cigarettes. He grabbed Johnson's cigarettes, which was kind of obvious.
Which she immediately missed.
Yeah.
And was like, "Oh, I must be losing my mind. Have you seen my cigarettes?" And
he's like, "No, honest."
Honest, and then runs out the door. David would never lie.
So then he came and gave the food to Matthew. And then David scampered off, and Matthew brought in some food for Vicki, and then she said she was thirsty, so he went to get water from the old well.
Mm-hmm.
But David forgot the cigarettes, so then
they were in his pocket, so we forgot to give them to him. Yeah.
So he came back while Matthew was away, so Victoria could make some noise, and he was listening into the walls and he thought maybe it was. It looked like he thought it was maybe Josette at first because he went up to the painting and he's looking around the fireplace, and then went over to the thing just as Matthew's returning. He's returning, so
cliffhanger for the week.
Is he gonna figure it out? Is he gonna go back to the house and tell the adults that he heard something, or what's gonna happen there?
I don't know. What's your prediction?
She's gonna be murdered. No. I mean, it would make sense that he would grab David too if he sees David there and hold him in the room. It's just
then someone will go looking for David, and then he'll be sardines, and he'll keep capturing people and stuffing them in that room until they're just jam packed in there.
Yep, that's my prediction.
Good prediction.
Thanks. What about you?
Well, that was kind of my prediction too.
I mean, I don't think it'd be very smart of him to take David. They'd notice and come searching for David more than Vicki, maybe even.
David could hide.
Yeah.
If he sees Matthew coming back, and And then see Matthew go into the
Yeah.
to the
And they
secret
can
room
sneak out and tell someone where she is and save the day.
Yes.
That'd be interesting to have David save the day.
Yes.
For sure.
All right.
All right. See you next week.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.